Hi guys, today we will learn how to make a stem in Rhino 3D modeling software. To begin with, we'll start with perspective view, just to hover around. Then we'll go to layer, name, add sketch, make it a current layer. We'll start with polyline, so either you can type polyline or you can click on the tool. I have pressed 0 to start from the 0 location, then 35 mm. Press shift and hold to make it ortho. This is zoom in by shortcut is Z and S. I'll make another polyline of 5 mm. Again press and hold shift to make it ortho. We will rotate on the blue plane by 35 degrees. We will move it from point to point. I made a small error. We will need 70 degrees, so we need to go 5 degrees back. Please note the positive and negative I have used, so clockwise and anti-clockwise angle. I will mirror it from the center by using mirror command. Now I will join another polyline and close it. You should have one full curve, join close curve. Now I will rotate in y-axis so that I can extrude it. I'm gonna move it at 0 location, so move command and vertical. You can press 0 to keep it on the plane. Once I have this, I can extrude it by using extrude command. I can just type it down, extrude curve, and there you go. So since I need a specific amount, so I will just type it down 90 mm so that it's 9 cm long. And if I change the view to shaded view, you will see the solid geometry. Next I will show you how to make same in different ways. So we'll start with making a rectangle by 35 by 90 mm. Rotate it 90 just to see the difference. Then you can offset it, let's say by 5 mm. Press inside. Then you can lift it up by 5 mm. And then you can use the loft command. Sometimes they have solid option. In this I did not get. Otherwise I can use close loft, then it will give me solid. But right now it does not, so I will use cap function to close it off. One more way is again to create a rectangle 90 degrees, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it. In one direction, but I don't know the value of it, so instead of randomly scaling it, I am going to use the command scale 1D, and if I do it from the midpoint, it's gonna behave as a mirror. It will scale on both the sides, but in one dimension. And then I can type down my value. So I know the half value would be around 12.5. There we go. Again, lift it up, loft command, cap function, and we'll have a solid geometry. The difference between the first one and the third one is nothing. They are similar. But the second one is different because you'll have loft in different direction as well. Okay, let's focus on the main geometry. Take a new layer, type down text, and we'll create a text object. Write down your preference text. You can change the font height. You can also have a solid thickness, but for now I'm gonna have curve, and make sure group output. Press OK. Click anywhere on the screen. I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees on blue plane so that it's parallel. Now I'm gonna move vertical so that it is same as top of the stem. Move around and see. Next we'll scale it up so that it fits much better. Press and hold shift and drag the green or blue or red square. Now we need to place it at the center. So what we're going to do is make a bounding box and then try to snap the mid to mid. Now the B is a bit tricky, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the mid from the bottom bounding box and snap it to the mid of the stem. Similarly, I'm going to orient it to the left hand side also and try to match the intersection. And this is how we place it in the center. The color is a bit weird. Let's change it to white maybe. Then we can extrude. Let's say 5 mm, and we have the extruded geometry. I'm going to deselect the curves from the filter option and group all the extruded geometry. And I'm going to decrease their height so that when I intersect with the geometry, they flush nicely. I'm going to select the curves and create a bounding box because I need a frame outside, just a design thing. You can skip this step. I'm going to offset it, and first let's do fillet command so that I have a rounded edge. That you can do is by fillet command and then select one edge and the second edge and select the radius. So that's how you can get a curve boundary like corner. I select both of them, offset, select both of them and extrude. Again 5 mm, and I'm gonna pull it down by 2 mm so it matches the height. And we have our basic text ready. You can also import from AI Illustrator your design, curves, and extrude directly. I'm just gonna duplicate it by pressing Alt and dragging, and I'm gonna hide it just in case for future reference. If I make any mistake, I have a copy of it in the same file. I can unhide or I can show using show command. Let's focus back on the main and try to create a holder for it. So we'll select the existing sketch. We'll go to the front view. What we'll do is we'll create an offset, maybe 5 or 3. I think 3 looks good. So click, and then we need to make a line so that we know where we need to cut or trim. So press and hold shift to make an ortho. You can also see simultaneously in perspective view that you're making the line correct. Using trim command, I select all the curves and then select which ones I don't need. So this way I get rid of the unwanted curves. Now it's a bit tricky to edit, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide the polysurface extrusion in this case. But before that, I copied it by Control C, Control V, just to have another editing option later on. Same trim and joint command. So you have one same color, that means they are all in one same layer and they're all joint close curve. Again, extrude. This is going to be a bit smaller than a 90 mm, so I'm going to put 50 mm. And since I know the total is 90, so half is 45, and to move 45 by 2. So I just type it down, 45 divided by 2. We create a new layer called base, and we'll select and change the layer as base. You will see it turn at purple or the layer color. Shortcut again, zoom selected, or zoom extend also is possible. So I'm kind of liking the geometry, and we'll try to move on to create the handle. So create a new layer, call it handle, and make sure it's the current layer, the tick mark. Now we'll need center of this. So there are a couple of ways. Either we can find area centroid, or we can extract surface and then area centroid, or if we have filter option, center. But just to make sure, I make two diagonals to get the correct center point. Then I create circle and the radius is 17. I think I'm going to change color. Yellow is not a good choice. It's okay. I'm going to offset it and another offset. I think I'll go very small just to see the effect of it. I'm going to pull this one to about 80 mm, 60. Let's go 60. And similarly for the smaller one, I think we'll go about 80. Once we have these curves, we can again use loft command. Yeah, yellow is not a color choice because selection color is also yellow. There we go. If we change the style, you can see the changes. See, here we have the closed option, but we don't need it at the moment. This is just an example. This could be your handle. So like this, you can have random curves and you can loft it to get different shape. So we'll first create loft between the two curves. I'm gonna keep it as normal because there are only two curves, not much gonna change. I'm gonna cap it to make it a solid. Then what we can do is we can use fillet command, but make sure you use fillet edge, otherwise it will ask you two curves. And select the edge and select the radius. Maybe we start with 5, 15. No, I think it took 5. Let's try 10 maybe. Yeah, that looks much better. So there we have the handle. all the geometries kind of look okay. So the next step would be, yes, duplicate it, just to make sure you have backup copy of everything. Try 50, 100 is better option. This step you don't need to, I'm just playing around. Interesting. Just by using loft command. Okay, once you have the geometries, what we're going to do is join them together by Boolean union command. So they are one solid object. But I forgot to copy. So I'm going to undo and copy again. And then Boolean union. So in case I want to make any edits, I can go back and change before making one full solid geometry. Yeah, and now due to printing errors, we'll have a little margin of error. Scale it down to 0.98 so that it fits much better. And if we try to scale it further, let's see, I think it might be too much and it might slip out. So yeah, these are the margin of error. We need to print multiple times and understand what is the best margin of error. Then keep it as 0.98. Yeah, once you're happy, I think first we should do mirror because it's a stem, so the geometry needs to be flipped. I'm gonna uncheck copy because this is my kind of final geometry. I'm gonna hide the curves, and yeah, it looks much better. Just checking if it's intersecting properly, and we're gonna select Boolean union command. It should turn into one color, and it has one closed polysurface. There we go. We have two different parts to print, and we can try to change rendered or arc view to see how they look. Move around. Yep, and for 3D printing, don't forget to convert into mesh and then save as STA. You can change the orientation in 3D printer, print a couple of them. Thanks for joining in, guys. That's it.